welcome to Around the Natty. We're back. My name's Andrew. I'm your host, joined here with my co-host, Logan. How we doing, Logan?
Oh, loving life. We've got the Reds game on for today's episode, so we're watching in the background. So when you hear moments of silence, something either really bad or really good's happening, we will not be editing those out because we aren't that good.
Yeah, we'll scream and we'll cheer, and if you guys are watching it, it's game one of the Battle of Ohio. We got the Indians versus the Reds here. Currently down, the Reds 0, Cleveland 1, the top of the fifth. So, that's where we're at, and we'll go along as the game progresses. But we're going to be doing something a little bit different here today. It's an idea that struck me, and I thought it's a little different than what we normally do, and I thought it's going to be a lot of fun. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be doing some top 5 most hated players in both the MLB and the NFL, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, so, we'll kind of run through our lists. We'll start with number 5 and go up. And so we'll go ahead. Let's introduce the first lineup of topic here.
So we are going to be starting with
MLB's top 5 most hated. Okay, so number 5. Who do you got, Andrew?
So my number 5, and it hasn't been this way. It just started recently. But my number 5 for the MLB's most hated player on my list is Bumgarner. For the Giants.
Oh, that's a good one.
He has been bugging the crap out of me lately, especially over this past weekend. I don't know if you saw this, but that whole thing he did with Muncy.
Yeah. Max Muncy.
So Muncy's absolutely mashed a home run, just destroyed it, drilled it into the
Fantastic.
water.
Gorgeous.
Drilled it into the water. He sat there and looked at it for maybe a second. He didn't look at it long. It's not like he pimped it. It's not like he sat there and walked. But Bumgarner, all sad and all upset, tells him to run. Angry. And walks out.
Just run.
He walks him down the line. And I'm like, oh, God, get out of here. And I thought it was really funny.
Muncy was getting right back to him.
Did you hear what Muncy said to him?
Yeah, he told him to go get out of the ocean if he wasn't watching it.
He said, if you don't want me to watch it, go get out of the ocean. But
that was awesome.
But yeah, you know what? Bumgarner's got a rap of saying that kind of stuff all the time. He said that to Puig, too. He said something to Puig, too.
You know what, though? You don't want people pimping home runs off you, bro.
Don't
strike them out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
sit them down.
The thing was, Puig hit a home run off of him, and he said it took him 7 years to do that. But every time I hear Bumgarner's name, it's because he's crying about something.
Yeah, it's like he had those 2 postseasons where he was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And now he just feels entitled to complain about
every time he comes in town, the Reds just beat him all over the ballpark.
Yeah, I mean, the Giants in general, but my thing is at the end of the day, if you don't want people showing you up, then sit them down. I don't know. You can't be mad at someone for watching a ball for half a second as they blast it.
Get out.
Oh,
that'll score a run.
I think he thought it was gone.
That'll score a run. There we go, boys.
Okay, yeah, that plays. I like it. Senzel just knocked Jose Iglesias in with
nice
stand-up double.
Little dab there.
Love
there.
Love it. Big sin.
That's big time.
Big sin. But yeah, no, that's not bad. Number 5. I honestly, so we did both before we went on in our pre-show. We did MLB and NFL, and I struggled with MLB one initially, but my first one's kind of funny. So this one, so I don't know if for those of you who have seen The Office, you might understand this reference, but in The Office, Jim has and starts a company called Athlete.
Please do not tell me who I think
and then goes into Athlete, right, or something like that. And eventually turns into that. Well, anyways, they sit down and they're trying to sign. They're trying to sign Ryan Howard, the first baseman at the time for the Philadelphia Phillies. And honestly, I had no ill will towards Ryan Howard until that episode aired, and I watched that for the first time. And now I just can't look at him without thinking about that, how cringy that was. When he's like, so what I want to do is be a Martian, and then I just come in, and I'm like, this is.
That's a
I understand that it's a. Oh my God, they just got double play off that.
That's horrible.
That's unbelievable. Joey Votto just hit a line drive at the first baseman, who turned around, caught Senzel running, double play, forced out at second. And the ending.
That's not a bad hit either, though.
No, that sucks.
That's unfortunate. They tied up, though.
Yeah.
You know that's a character, right?
I understand that it's not real. I just think that was hilarious. That was I like but like I said, it was like super cringy. It was funny. I love The Office.
That
but
puts
now,
him on your top 5 though of most hated players ever.
There's not a lot of once you hear the rest of my list, you'll understand. There's not a lot of MLB players I hate. There's just not. I tell you why. I think it's because the MLB and in baseball, you're not allowed to show personality, and until most recently, it's just now starting to become somewhat acceptable, and so like it's hard for me to hate, a lot of these players.
See, I disagree. I think there's an arrogance in baseball that you can't miss. Some amount of more teams than other teams. Obviously, skill level has something to do with that and success, but man, I have a big list of MLB players that I am not a fan of, and all of them could make the list, but a lot of divisional people that we'll see.
Yeah, who you got? Number 4.
Number ahead. 4, I got Ryan Braun.
Oh, okay.
And I think he's the lesser of the evils out of our division.
Okay.
I hate him. One, he's a cheater, a dirty cheater.
He is that.
He's a dirty cheater.
Absolutely.
He just, again...
And he's a liar. He lied.
He did lie.
He denied. Try to get someone fired. Yeah. So that someone tampered with his samples.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will talk more about that once I get to my NFL list too, because I have something to incorporate into my NFL list.
For a lot of those people who are busted with that stuff, that's their only way out.
Yeah.
Is misproper handling.
Yeah.
And it worked, didn't it? Didn't it work? He got out of it because of that, and he just got like a light suspension?
No, he still got a suspension. No, it didn't work. They ended up proving it wrong, and
I just... One, he kills the Reds. That's a reason I hate him, but that's not the main reason I hate him. There's an arrogance about him, and
arrogant.
Things like that, and just a dirty, dirty cheater.
Some about the best players for Milwaukee teams, they just like to be arrogant.
Billy Weeks.
I was thinking Aaron Rodgers, but,
That's not Milwaukee, that's Green Bay.
Green Bay. That's in... Wisconsin players. I'm sorry.
Come on, dude. All right, who you got number 4?
My number 4, and this will be the only Reds player on here, but my number 4 Reds player...
I think of most hated players. I'm like, yeah, go ahead and think of your most 5 hated players. The first person he brings up to me is a Reds player, and I'm like, are you serious? Are you serious?
My number 4 is J.J. Hoover, who, for those of you who might not remember, was a relief pitcher. He weighed about 600 to 700 pounds. And I'm pretty sure that he literally came out and pitched like after slamming what are those big ass cases of Natty Light called?
30 rack?
Yeah, I bet no. There's like I don't know. There's like a special name for it. Anyways, I'm pretty sure he killed like a 37 pack of Natty Light before he came out every time he pitched, because the guy just gave up. His ERA at one point was 19.8. That's unbelievable.
Did you look that up?
No. I just remember being so outraged. And I felt like, so he was here for both Dusty and, not Dick Price, or not Dick Pole, Brian Price. Brian Price. And I felt like it was like, okay, you got the lead, you're up by 1, who are you going to bring in? Keep this game close. And then, you're thinking, okay, yeah, maybe we bring in, Jonathan Brock. No. J.J. Hoover. What happens? 7 home runs later. Game's over. Are you kidding me? The guy, I remember going to Reds games.
But that makes you hate him, though?
Yes.
He's out there.
Yes. It doesn't look like he's trying. And if he's trying, I can't stand it. I hated him. They let him close after we traded Chapman. They let him close for 2 games. And I'm like, what are we doing? I don't understand. It was like this blind I don't know. He must have been just a really cool guy. I'm sure he is. I'm sure he's like one of those guys you love to drink a beer with, go fishing. But the guy cannot throw a goddamn baseball to save his life. So, whatever, yes. That was because, and here's the thing, he ruined my Reds experience for the 3 seasons he played for us. Every time I saw him come into the game.
He ruined your whole Reds experience?
Every time I saw him in the game, my day was ruined. I was angry. I was upset. I hated it.
I mean, my God,
I hated it. And when I would work games, the games would go an extra 3 hours because they would just continually hit off of them over and over and over again.
You didn't work at the Red Stadium when he was there?
Yeah, I did. He was there up until last season. I've worked there this is my 3rd season there.
I don't know if he was there last season, my friend.
No, I didn't say. I said up to last season.
Oh, really?
So my first year there, he was there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well.
So, but anyways, that's my number 4.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think I think the whole city of Cincinnati shares your pain with that. I don't know if that constitutes him being on a top 5 most hated
You
list.
asked me who I hated. You didn't ask me who should be most hated. I said you asked me who I hated.
I disagree, and I think that's a bad pick.
Well, I hate him. I hate him.
Fair enough. Moving on to
he sucks.
my third.
So bad.
My third most hated, and this guy is an active player. He boils my blood. He's the biggest hypocrite in baseball, and that is Javi Baez. I can't stand this man.
That's so funny.
He's the shortstop for the Chicago Cubs, for y'all that are wondering, but he is the biggest hypocrite in baseball. That whole thing last year with Amir Garrett and him. You remember when the Reds swept the Cubs last season?
Mm-hmm.
Reds didn't have much to hang their hat on.
Nope.
Obviously, the Cubs did what the Cubs do. I don't know if they went to the playoffs or not.
They did.
They didn't. Well, there was like a guy on third and second, and Amir struck him out, and he showed some emotion, and Javi got all butthurt, and Amir would have went over there and stomped his ass into the ground, hammer fisted him into the ground like a nail.
Right.
But I mean, everything you see of Javi Baez is him showboating and pimping home runs and screaming as he runs around the bases and after he makes plays. So it's like I'm confused. Is this your MLB or is this everybody else's? Or are we just taking up your space? Or...
Yeah, that's like Chris Archer. Like Chris Archer when he got mad at DD for
it's like just
blasting him.
It's like you got worked, bro. That slider is killer.
Right.
Okay? Like just accept you got beat. You didn't come in clutch for your team. He definitely deserves to be in my top 3.
I totally get how you would dislike him. Honestly, like I said, I don't hate a lot of baseball players. I totally get why you would not enjoy Javi Baez, but I don't hate him.
Oh, I can't stand him.
I don't think it's a bad pick. I just don't hate him. He's not my favorite by any means, but
you put J.J. Hoover on the list.
Hate J.J. Hoover.
Really?
Hate him.
That's wild.
I hate him.
That's a wild thing. You hate J.J. Hoover, but
J.J.
you don't
Hoover
hate
was
Javi Baez.
J.J. Hoover was every opponent of the Reds' best player during his tenure here.
Stop.
Every single one.
Stop.
Because you could count on if they let him pitch at least 3 pitches, you're gonna get at least 1 home run out of that. I bet you if you looked at it, I bet you for every 12 pitches he threw at least 1 home run. I bet you.
I don't have that stat.
I don't either.
And but you're just throwing out wild accusations.
I bet you that's no. If you watched him play, that's what it felt like. Really, it felt like every third pitch was a home run. It was unbelievable. Couldn't handle it. Over it. Hate it. Javi Baez is a good pick though.
He is a good pick, and he's a dirty scumbag.
Yeah.
Right?
That's fair.
All right.
That's fair. Was that your 3 or 4?
That was my 3.
Okay. My 3 is actually it is Ryan Braun as well.
Oh God, you got him up there high.
Yeah, I hate Ryan Braun. I hate Ryan Braun so much. And there is a certain NFL player who defended Ryan Braun and went out and talked about how all the people should lose their jobs who accuse him of doping and well, we have to wait till I get my NFL list out. He's on my NFL list, top 5. So, but he was like he
the anticipation.
He came to Ryan Braun, right? What a plug.
What a build up.
But he came to Ryan Braun's defense, and Ryan Braun, like I said, just called people out, called for their jobs, like you know what, you cheated, you cheated. To some extent, I can get like PEDs, like you're just trying to gain a competitive advantage. I don't like it, but I get it. When you get caught, take your suspension, move on. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's all I ask.
You've tarnished your legacy.
Right.
That person does not need to get trashed.
Right. So you let it go. You take it on the chin. And I think honestly now more than ever, people are getting over it. People are not as upset about it as they used to be. It's not.
Yeah. Well, it's because it's not fresh and new anymore.
Right. So it's one of those things where, like I said, you take your suspension, you cheated, move on. You're a dirty cheater. Don't be a dirty liar too. And
he's both of them.
Oh, he's both, and he's arrogant. Oh God, I hate him.
He's a scumbag.
And he's got this gross pales. He reminds me of Malfoy from Harry Potter. He's like that kind of villain, but he's like a cowardly villain. He's not even like.
Well, Malfoy is pretty cowardly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's not even a badass like Voldemort.
He's a pretty good baseball player.
He's a good baseball player, but he looks like a little punk bitch. You know what I mean? Like,
wow.
honestly, like that's kind of where I'm at with it. So. That's my number. That's my number 3, and I know we kind of talked about him already, so I won't harp on him too much. So, what's your number 2?
My number 2, Chris Carpenter.
Okay.
Former pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals. And as most of you remember, that big brawl between the Cardinals and the Reds that manifested between Brandon Phillips and Yadi Molina. Mm-hmm. He was a little bird chirping in the ear of, in the back, like, hey, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Well, the thing that bugs me about Carpenter is, you remember during the brawl, Scott Rowland was pretty chill, and then at the end, Scott Rowland about took his head off.
I love Scott Rowland, by the way.
God, can we?
If we did a top 5 love list, I would have his babies. I love Scott Rowland. Yeah. What a guy.
I'm a big Scott Rowland guy. Yeah.
I bet you that's a guy I'd like to have a beer with,
Oh, he would.
Oh, no doubt.
He would.
No doubt. You know who won't have a beer with you? Is Samuel Cure. He'll try to get you to buy him one, but he won't have one with you. I know because I saw him at the Holy Grail Banks. Anyways, sorry. Go ahead.
Fair enough. But he must have chirped something at Scott Rowland, and Scott Rowland about took his head off. Well,
took his freaking head off.
After the big fight and everything was calmed down and Cueto was suspended and all that stuff, they interviewed Chris Carpenter, and he made it seem like he was in a prison riot. He goes, I just don't know what we did to the Reds and this and that, and it's just classless. It's just classless baseball, blah 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 blah. And you're like, dude, you were out there just like everybody else was out there.
Bro, you live in Missouri. You talk about classless? Come on.
Okay. Well, but he's out there. He's out there going chirping at people, and he just acted like, again, the arrogance comes up. He's just acting like he was better than everybody. And if you think you're better than Scott Rowland, I disagree, right, sir.
I mean, I feel like Scott Rowland could be I think he's got the personality to be like the head of the Players Association, honestly. Like, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of, and that's the thing. You talk about class and just overall, relationship with play. Like, there's no one that's ever played with, met, or otherwise interacted with Scott Rowland has anything bad to say about that man. So
yeah, and it's weird because he came from the Cardinals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you grab him, you're like, oh, he's coming from the Cardinals?
Right.
And then he comes over and he just immediately appreciates the city and appreciates the team. And it's so rare because if you remember when we brought Jim Edmonds over, do you remember that 1 year? We brought Jim Edmonds for a year, right? And he injured his arm or something, and then he got surgery on it, and after that, he just wasn't the same, couldn't play anymore. Mm-hmm. Instead of blaming the fact that he was 800 years old, still in the MLB, he said the Reds doctors ruined his career.
Really?
Dude, you came to us when you were like 45.
Well, if it was a certain Reds physician,
I'm just saying,
he might not be entirely wrong.
It still didn't ruin your career, though.
Yeah.
You were 35 or something. You're going out anyways.
Right.
Your body don't heal. It's like Ken Griffey Jr.
Yeah, when you get to be that age...
your body's different.
Right.
It's not the same as it was when you were 18, 19 years old. Right. You can't run and rob home runs anymore,
unfortunately, if you get to the point where you have I don't even remember what the injury was, but if it was a labral or rotator cuff tear, you just don't come back from those.
Especially if
you can't manage those effectively non-surgically, you just don't come back from those as an overhead throwing athlete. It just doesn't happen. Yeah. So, but
all right, go ahead with your number 2.
And I want to say I'm surprised, and I don't know what your number 1 is, but I'm surprised I haven't heard one name yet. So maybe he'll be your number 1. I'm interested to see. I don't want to say it because I don't want to ruin it in case it is, but we'll see. Anyways, so my number 2 is Manny Machado.
Really? I actually don't hate that pick. That's a good, solid pick.
I don't.
Oh, crap, I forgot one.
Yeah, I think I know exactly
who you're talking about.
Yeah, I want to wait for him to say his first one. I don't know. We didn't tell each other about this before.
Holy smokes, how did I miss that? Yeah, what an oversight.
I know, but so it's not Manny Machado he's referring to, but there's one that I definitely thought was going to be on there. I don't think it is based on his reaction. But I hate Manny Machado. So Manny Machado is a very good player. I think he could be a very great player if he cared about the game of baseball, hustled, was a good teammate.
Yeah.
He's none of those things. Yeah. I don't think he cares about winning. I don't think that he respects the game.
How can you care about winning when you play for the Padres and the Orioles?
Well, okay. Remember, there was 3 or 4 years ago, the Orioles were pretty decent.
Come on, son.
They won the East not that long ago. The AL East not that long ago.
The East is kind of weak.
The Yankees, the Red Sox, the Orioles.
Are they in the... Oh,
AL
sorry.
East.
I was thinking something else.
Yeah, so anyways...
I thought you meant the NL East.
But anyways, that's my number 2. He's a bum. I don't like the fact that he's a slacker.
Yeah, no, I can agree with that.
But anyways, go ahead and give us your number 1.
Wow, I can't believe I left my number 1 was Yachty.
That's also my number 1.
Yadier Molina.
And you didn't say Bryce Harper.
I know.
Who you hate.
I hate Bryce Harper. I can't believe I overlooked that.
It's funny.
And I put freaking Bumgarner on there. Or Carpenter on there. To be honest with you,
Chris Carpenter is kind of high. I thought that was a high pick.
I can't stand him.
Really? I mean, I don't like him.
He's such a whiny crybaby.
That was a high pick.
How I did it was, who would I want to fight? And who do I think I could beat up? And I think I could beat up Chris Carpenter.
Okay. You think you could beat up Yadier Molina?
No.
I say, but Yachty, I think Yachty's all talk. That's part of the reason why I picked him as number 1. Dude, he acts like a big old hard ass, but I think he's. I
bet you if push came to shove and he actually got in the fight with Brandon Phillips, I think Brandon Phillips would have wore his ass out.
Yadier Molina seems like one of those guys that like he goes and like has a group of guys that like he can call up and like he won't actually fight you himself, but he just has to like drive up on you and like shoot you and run. You know what I mean?
Damn.
Like he seems like whoever.
Speaking of that,
whoever shot David Ortiz.
Get better, David Ortiz.
Right. Whoever shot David Ortiz. You know what I mean? Like
he was also in the Dominican Republic.
I bet you it was.
Could have been anybody.
I bet you it was one of Yadier Molina's people.
Shut up.
You hear it here first. Yadier Molina put a hit out on David Ortiz. Number 1 reason, or another reason why Yadier Molina is number 1 on the most hated list. Put a hit out on David Ortiz.
That is a wild accusation.
Nope. Facts.
Wild.
Facts. You heard it here first. Yadier Molina put a hit on David Ortiz.
I don't like Yadier Molina, but now after you mentioned Bryce Harper, like I can't unthink about it now. I would take Chris Carpenter out, I think.
Yeah, that 300 what, 30 million that they're paying doesn't look too good right now, does it, for the Phillies?
It makes it easier to hate him.
You know what's funny is, so when I was in the conference in London, one of the speakers was the head athletic trainer for the Phillies.
Yeah.
And Nate Clark, at Nate4Clark, said something to the effect of like, so do you think you guys will get Harper? And the guy was like, man, I sure hope so. He's the best in the game right now. And
Mike Trout.
Right. He does not look like the best in the game right now. That's a person I feel bad for.
Mike Trout?
Yeah, I think that.
Why, dude? He just got paid $1 billion.
Because his career is wasted in L.A., where they've not been good.
He could have told him no.
I understand, but
he could have said no.
I think he's one of those old fashioned like.
He definitely is. He puts his. Hey, speaking of Sam here, he just puts his head down and plays ball, and I think that's really why he's one of the best in the game, if not the best in the game.
Well, I think he's super likable because of not limited to, but also because of how he embraces and like emphasizes he loves his city. You know what I mean? Like I think he loves Anaheim, and
he's a Jersey boy.
Yeah, I mean I just think that I think that the organization itself he's really loyal to, and it helps when they pay you a lot of money. That helps.
$1 billion for a lifetime contract. Yeah,
right.
that'll
that definitely
do it.
helps. They'll be paying him 10 years after he's retired. But yeah. Anyways, that is our top. I think that's funny with Yadier Molina as number 1. I bet you if you asked, I bet you at least 50% of Reds fans would say Yadier Molina is the number 1 hated player.
It's easy to.
Right.
One, he's good. Also, let me just throw this out there. People who compare Yadier Molina to Johnny Bench, please. Knock it off.
Yeah.
Okay?
Let's talk about that for just a second here. Did you hear that interview with Pete Rose? He was on...
Being the best ambassador for baseball?
No, not that one. I forget what show it was on, but Pete Rose said Johnny Bench should wake up every morning and thank God I was ever born, because he would never be in the Hall of Fame without me.
What was his justification?
He said he wouldn't have nearly as many RBIs because I was on base all the time for him to knock people in.
That's fair.
But then he went on to say Johnny Bench is the best catcher of all time. So here's my thing though. If he's the best catcher of all time, would you think that he would be in the Hall of Fame exclusive of you? Because if he's the best catcher of all time, wouldn't you think that the person who is best at a single position of all time would be in the Hall of Fame regardless of who he played with?
Let's be honest here. Pete Rose, as much as I love him and respect him as a baseball player, he's dug himself into quite a hole.
He's an ass.
Yeah.
He's an ass of a man.
He's dug himself into quite a hole, and he has to say goofy stuff to make himself relevant and try and get into the eye.
You know what it was, and because the interview and before that they had, I guess they had at some point asked Johnny Bench if they thought Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame, and Johnny
gives
Bench
the same
said no.
answer every time.
Well, he said no. He just said no.
Yeah, well, he said I gave him the so what happened was Johnny Bench was on the committee to get Pete into the Hall, and he got it to where he could get him into the Hall, or at least get him on the ballot. And all he had to do was admit he did it and do like something for the MLB. Like, I think the example that he brought up was to go around to minor league clubs and like explain why it's a bad idea to gamble in baseball. And Pete refused. And that's why Johnny Bench doesn't.
Well, you know what Pete said. You know what Pete said. The reason was that he says he shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. He says that Johnny Bench is jealous. He said all those years Johnny Bench was always jealous of Pete Rose because he said no matter how much of a better player he was or how well he did, he would never be loved in Cincinnati like Pete Rose was. He's like Johnny doesn't get it. You know, I'm a Cincinnati guy. He's like, the fans love me. They always love me more than him. You know, they play on Pete Rose way. That's where they play. You know, they don't play Johnny Bench way. That's what he said.
I love him, man.
Yeah.
I love him, but you know what? At the end of the day, they're both great players. I do believe they both belong in the Hall. Let Pete in. You know what I mean? Let Pete in. Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not. Do I think Pete's going to be
I think he'll be in, but they'll wait till he dies.
Post-human?
Yeah, he won't get to see it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we're also going to have to wait for the commissioner to die as well.
Did you want to... Okay, so you know... what's the number? 4219? Is that what it is? Oh, man. Hold on. Now I forget. 4219. Go ahead and talk. Why look this
To
up?
be honest, I don't know the number.
Isn't that terrible?
I know I don't know the record, to be honest.
So I should know that. I feel like a really bad baseball fan right now. So that was what was the one that he hit?
It was Mickey Mantle's, right?
No, it was Ty Cobb.
Ty Cobb, I mean, sorry.
42. Anyways, I actually heard the story. So when you break a record, they have to go through and vindicate and like double check to make sure that it's all correct, right? So they go back and like verify every single one of your hits, and they have to go back and verify every single one of the hits of the person whose record you broke.
Dang.
So they went back through and they actually found out that Ty Cobb's record listing was wrong. He actually had one less hit than what was recorded. So Pete Rose actually broke the hit record, not in Cincinnati. So like everyone that celebrates that moment, that's why like that number's so big, is because like that was that was not even technically that wasn't the one that he broke. He broke it a game before that in Philadelphia against the Phillies. So I think that's kind of
41-92.
41-92. So
well, let's just say it happened at home.
But you know what I mean. But I just thought that was interesting. I just learned that the other day when I visited the Reds Hall of Fame. By the way, I want to plug that Reds Hall of Fame. You guys should all visit it if you hadn't had a chance to yet. It is the second best baseball Hall of Fame in the United States behind Cooperstown. So definitely recommend checking it out.
Which is also in Ohio.
Cooperstown is in New York. Canton is in Ohio.
Sorry, that's what I meant. Sports Illustrated has that as their 87th best MLB moment.
Really?
Him breaking the record. There you go.
Well, speaking of lists and things of that nature, let's go ahead and jump into our next segment. And let's go ahead and hit the intro for that.
NFL. Top 5 most hated. Alrighty, so we're moving on to the NFL. So we're going to do kind of the same format here. Our top 5 most hated.
Yeah.
This one's probably a little bit easier for us.
For me, especially. Well, and honestly, it's difficult in a different way.
Yeah.
It was difficult for me because there's so many NFL players that I dislike.
Yeah.
And have grown to hate over the years.
Well, I didn't want to just throw biases out there. I didn't want to just have a whole top 5 of Steelers.
Which we could do.
Even
really
though
easily.
I could do it. It would be so easy for me to just throw out Steelers that I hate. Because
right.
I don't think there's a single one that I like.
Nope.
there's some.
I don't hate Hines Ward.
Oh God, I can't stand Hines Ward. He
Hines
broke
Ward.
Keith Rivers' jaw
he did.
in an illegal play.
I know he did.
Von Oelhoffen, I hope his legs get cut off. By a combine.
Yeah. Ryan Shazier, hate.
I hate Shazier.
Ryan hates.
He hurt himself trying to hurt our boy.
Right.
You know what?
Yeah.
Don't care about him.
I hope he walks again and all that stuff.
Me too, but I hope he remembers. Yeah. So we could go on and on and on and on and on and on. But I'm going to let you start this one off because I started the last one off. So go ahead, Logan.
So my number 5 is actually going to beckon back to our MLB one. So my number 5 is Aaron Rodgers. And part of the reason why I hate Aaron Rodgers is also because of his arrogance. Aaron Rodgers literally... So first of all, when Ryan Braun tested positive, Aaron Rodgers went on air on every social media, every news reporting agency, and just up and down the board, Ryan Braun is the most upstanding individual, blah blah blah. The people who mishandled should be fired. This and that. That you're ridiculous. The other thing is whenever you're getting your ass kicked for 4 games in a row and you get on a 4-game losing streak, and you tell the media to RELAX. That makes me want to spit in your face. And you know what? Here's the other thing too. He's a great player. One of the top 25 quarterbacks of all time.
I think he's the most talented quarterback in the NFL right now, as far as talent wise.
I mean, he's really good. He's really good at football, but he is an ass. I don't think he's a bad teammate. His brother doesn't even like him.
I think he's a bad teammate.
I mean, he's not a good teammate. I'm not a fan. Aaron Rodgers plays for Aaron Rodgers, and that's it. And the other thing is he can't chug a beer because he's a little bitch.
Dang, you're getting really aggressive about that one.
Yeah, I do not like Aaron Rodgers. And that's only my number 5, folks. Just hold on.
He also got his coach fired, Mike McCarthy, who
was a Hall of Fame coach.
Who hasn't had a defense. Mike McCarthy has never had a good defense.
Nope.
Name any good defense he's ever had.
You can't.
You can't, because he's never done it. You want
me to name the defense for the Green Bay Packers over the last... When Clay Matthews could rush the quarterback, that's been the defense. That was it.
Or Raji.
Him and when they
Charles
had
Woodson.
when they had Peppers there.
Oh yeah, Julius Peppers.
Julius Peppers there.
And Woodson, right?
Charles Woodson as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when they won the Super Bowl.
Yep.
It was with Charles Woodson. My number 5, Cam Newton.
Oh, okay.
I am not a Cam Newton fan, nor have I ever claimed to be a Cam Newton fan. I think he is...
It's an easy one to hate.
I think he's immature. And the reason I say that is when everything's going great, Cam Newton, everybody's like, Cam Newton's just having a good time. You remember when they were going undefeated pretty much all the way, and they were dabbing on the field and doing all that stuff, which is fine. But then they get into a Super Bowl, and he's whining the whole time.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't even like they were getting blown out, but it was enough. You remember he got hit in the end zone. He starts flopping on the ground like a fish when he doesn't get a call.
Yeah, that was the Urban Meyer recruiting class that was full of really bad eggs. You had Aaron Hernandez. And,
all really good players.
Yeah. And
all really good players, just not good people.
Yeah, I don't think that he's not the most upstanding citizen by any means. I think he's a whiner. I tell you, he has the worst body language, second only to Jay Cutler. Seriously.
Yeah.
And he wears his emotion on his sleeve, and
the
towel on the head.
He's such a fair weather quarterback, and that's not what you need in a quarterback.
Right.
What you need in a quarterback is a guy who's going to be a rock all the time.
Yeah, you know who I want? I want Andrew Luck, who gets his
I
gotta play.
Yeah, he sounds like a giant.
That's who I want, because the guy could throw 12 touchdowns in a game and still be like, I gotta play for my team. He's always gonna take the blame.
Logan, when he does impressions, he always goes to JFK for some reason. That's mine. I think that's an easy guy to not like at all.
And also, Luis Castillo just walked somebody. It was Naquin to load the bases, and that's really frustrating for me. It's the bottom of the 6th, bases loaded, tied at 1. Castillo's about 94 pitches. Mikey Biceps was warming up.
He's gonna get out of this jam. Mikey Biceps has not been playing well, by the way.
No.
He has not been playing well.
So Mikey Biceps is really superstitious. I don't know if you guys know or if I ever told you the story, but so I work at the Red Stadium. And I don't even remember last year, but last year he pinched hit at one point, and he cranked a home run. And right before that, he happened to order a pizza from our Sweets Kitchen. And so every single game that he went in and batted after that, he had to order a pizza to eat. That's how superstitious he is. Like that's just like
that's baseball players in general.
Yeah,
honestly.
I agree.
They're some of the most superstitious people on the planet.
Yeah, it's really weird. And I've been told by some pretty reliable sources that these uniform changes are really like the players are blaming their poor batting
really
on the uniform changes.
Really?
Yes, that's what I've been told.
Dang.
So, which that was really interesting to me.
That is interesting.
But
now, just to say here, this is what good pitchers do. Good pitchers get out of this jam.
Right
here. Now, whether that's with a run or without a run, we'll see here in a minute. But that's what good pitchers do. That's what Castillo has to do here.
Well, I mean,
he's got a double play ball in order here. Or maybe, he is a strikeout pitcher. Maybe he strikes me out here. You know what I mean? This guy's 0 for 2.
He's only like this is. So this is Ramirez. Ramirez is only hitting like 198 or something like that right now. So like this would definitely be okay, sorry, 298, I guess. Jeez, that's career with bases loaded. I think right now he's hitting like 198. Jose Ramirez is not playing well right now. So I'm curious to see if he counts 2-1, bases loaded, delivers a pitch, fouled off.
Oh God.
Coming in with a heater, so I think he's going to keep on going inside hot.
He's going to rock him with a changeup down low.
I think he's going to go. I think he's going to elevate him, hit him up and out with a changeup here next pitch.
How often does he take his changeup up high? Not often. He usually smacks the bottom of the zone.
The only reason I say that is because he's really pounding them down and in right now with some heat. So that's the only thing.
All right, let's see.
All right, winds up, delivers a pitch, 2-2, swing.
Oh God!
It was a changeup outside. Down, yeah. But yeah. So
imagine if he had a slider.
See, my thing is like he did have quite a few pitches in the repertoire, but
no.
He wasn't. He like it started. He had like a slider and it was turning into like he had a slider and a curve and it was kind of turning into like a slurve. So they kind of like wanted him to focus on just the changeup and
it's worked out so far. Yeah. Oh, he's going to get him to roll over on one here, dude. I feel it.
See, I don't know. The longer... So, right now... I think this is the 5th pitch in this at-bat. The count's 2-2. But my feeling is always that when the at-bat goes longer, the pitcher, the batter begins to have the advantage because you're seeing all this stuff, And so you're able to time it more and more. So that always makes me nervous. The longer we go into at-bat, the more nervous I get.
Put him away here. He winds up.
Delivers a strike.
Another foul. He's late or early on all these.
He's jamming them inside, bringing 97 up and in every time.
He looks uncomfortable.
Yeah,
Ramirez does.
He's gonna give him a changeup that he can't hit because he's not seeing the ball well right now at all.
Yeah.
I'm very confident that he's gonna be able to sit him down, or at least get him to pop out. Let's see. Francisco Lindor. Let's talk about someone who's like underrated. Francisco Lindor is good.
That's if Johnny Bench said who's the closest to or who's his favorite MLB catcher in the game. Is he a catcher?
No, he's shortstop.
Who am I thinking of?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Never mind. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, it's okay. Wow, we're really on our edges of our seats here. This is really stressful for me.
This is big.
I don't like this at all.
This is big. Come on, Reese.
Tucker says, let's hit it.
There he is. He got him.
I think Tucker helped set him up there. He smacked his glove.
Man. Let's go.
On the inside part of the plate there.
That's big.
And I think it fooled him. I'm not going to lie. That's some good gamesmanship right there.
That's big.
Okay.
Back to it
here. All right. So did you say number 5?
My number 5 was Cam Newton.
Okay. So number 4. My number 4, I went OBJ.
I did as well.
Yeah. So Odell Beckham Jr., I mean, my thing is like, I think he's a good player. But I think he's more antic than he is, not anything else. I think that one really awesome catch really put him on the map, and then after that, he's been a fairly productive player.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's, I don't think he's one of the best 3 receivers in the league.
Who would you put up top 3?
I would put Julio Jones. I would put
Antonio Brown.
Man.
You wouldn't put Antonio up top?
I'm going Trey Hopkins next.
Trey Hopkins, right?
Trey Hopkins
the guard.
Is number 2. Sorry, not Trey Hopkins.
DeAndre Hopkins?
DeAndre Hopkins, sorry.
Yeah, I knew Trey Hopkins had those hands, boy.
DeAndre Hopkins and let's see, my number 3. I'm trying to think of
It's gotta be Antonio, bro.
I don't want it to be.
I know you don't want it to be. It's gotta be.
It probably is.
It
but
has
I don't want
to
it to be. But anyways, yeah. Like I said, I don't think there's a couple. And honestly, for my money, I'm taking AJ Green over Odell Beckham Jr. as well.
I think so too. I think he's better for a team. I think he's more of a leading aspect.
I mean, just better locker room, facilitates better culture.
I mean, if as much as I agreed with him when he went out and said all that stuff about,
but the reason why, Odell Beckham,
you don't do that.
Right.
You don't do that to a teammate.
No.
You don't steamroll your quarterback right in front of the whole.
The worst thing for a team is having a quarterback controversy, and so when there's already one present because he's playing poorly, you don't go out and say stuff to make it worse. You know? That was a really high pitch.
It's all right. It was a garbage pitch.
But yeah, so that's my number 4. Who's your number 4? Oh, you also said OBJ.
Yeah, I have OBJ as well. And for the same exact reason. I think he's toxic to a team.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing that you get with like a Le'Veon Bell and an Antonio Brown.
Right.
I mean, obviously, I think there's more upside to Antonio than OBJ.
No.
Don't get me wrong, because I think Antonio Brown can carry a team. Honestly. Antonio Brown can carry a team. He can do it by himself. He can make space. I don't know if Odell can do it on his own. You know what I mean? As we saw in New York, but I just don't think he's worth all his. I mean, he's very talented and he's a very gifted athlete, but I just don't want him on my team. Right. You know what I mean? And that's why all the Cleveland fans are.
His first year in Cleveland, you don't know the system. It's a new coach.
Yeah,
and you don't show up to OTAs.
Struck them both out. Let's go, Luis Castillo, baby. Bases loaded, 2 strikeouts to end the inning. That's a Cy Young winning pitcher. Let's go. Sorry.
That's good stuff.
That's good stuff. That could get your blood pumping.
But
that's how you get out of a jam, sir.
But yeah, no.
Looking too.
So that conversation interestingly enough, brings me to my number 3, which was Antonio Brown.
Really?
I tried to avoid just putting Steelers on here.
Yeah.
But I did have a couple, so a little prelude there to what's coming next. But yeah, Antonio Brown, again, just really toxic to a locker room. Just again, really talented player, really arrogant. And I think what really got to me was, first of all, I mean, what he said about Big Ben, I think Big Ben is trash. So I think
he's a horrible teammate too.
Yeah, that part is. But like when he talked about like Juju Smith-Schuster, I think you can hate Juju Smith-Schuster, but that guy, he is a true blood Steeler. I think he's like always going to put his neck out there for his teammates.
He's an asshole, so he fits the bill.
Right, but Antonio Brown, I mean, threw the kid under the bus. Was mad that he was getting more touches.
Yeah.
I mean, just I don't know. I just didn't appreciate that.
He tweeted at him too.
Right. I mean, it's just
he said he fumbled away their Super Bowl chances.
Right. Yeah.
What? You didn't even play.
Right. So not to mention, Antonio Brown definitely flopped in that 2015 playoff game.
Yeah.
Where Vontaze Burfict kissed him as he passed by. Like that was
not like that would have changed the call.
You know
what I mean? He still hit him in the head.
I'm just saying.
Intention's not a thing there.
Right. I'm just saying. That's a bunch of garbage.
Yeah. I think he's not a good teammate. And I also think it's hilarious that now that Burfict and him are on the Raiders, they're BFFs now. Have you seen that?
God, yeah.
Have you seen all that Instagram stuff? It's weird, man. It's weird. Like, I get it. You guys got to be cordial, but you guys don't have to be best friends.
It's all right. Vontaze Burfict won't be on that roster by the end of the year.
Come on, Tez. That leads me to my number 3. My number 3 is a youngster, and it is Baker Mayfield. I am not happy with
Very polarizing figure.
I just think everybody talks about the Browns last year like they went to the playoffs and won a bunch of games. Mm-hmm. They won 7 games or 8 games or something like that. As far as I'm concerned, that's not a positive season. That's not a successful season. To be honest, success is not relative in the league. He had some good plays. I think he's an above average player. I think you can build a franchise around him. But again, the same thing with OBJ. And it's going to be weird to see all these polarizing personalities on this one team. But he bugs me, man. Like that whole thing where he's going up to Hugh on the sidelines and like grabbing his dick and all that. And it's like, you're like sitting there and you're like, you guys act like he chose to leave.
Right.
Like they're making it seem like they all were like mad at him, like he chose to like get out of Cleveland. Like he's like, you know what, I'm done. I'm done. I'm gonna go be a special assistant. That's my career goals.
I mean, I don't love Hugh Jackson either. I think Hugh Jackson has many character flaws as well. But to that point, though, I will say that in terms of I don't think it's Baker Mayfield's fault that people are celebrating their stuff. And if you were a Browns fan, going from 0 wins to 7 wins, you'd have optimism.
Again, success is not relative, though. That's the difference. The difference between the Bengals and the Browns is the Bengals win 7 games. That's an unsuccessful season. The Browns win 7 games. That they look at it as some sort of win. No thanks.
I mean,
no thanks.
Like I said,
not a win. He didn't catch it. Nice. That'll fall in.
Oh, he's safe.
Puig with a hustle double.
Nice. But yeah, no. Yeah, he's gonna sit there and think about it for a minute. Yeah, no, I don't know, man. I just think that, like I said, I totally get. I get the emotion behind the pick. You know what I do love is when Colin Cowherd has him on his show and just rips him.
Well, he won't come on his show anymore.
I know.
If any of you guys watch The Herd with Colin Cowherd and Joy Taylor, who, by the way, love Joy Taylor.
Mm-hmm. Big fan.
Baker has a big feud with Colin Cowherd, which is hilarious because you're an NFL player. He's a media personality. You need to get over it, sir. And to be honest, after listening to what Colin said, it's all fair criticism, and a lot of it's facts. I
love it. I love it whenever my favorite's when he shows him the video where he
runs away from the team.
Yeah, and he's like gives over to the crowd. And he's like, yeah, but what you don't show is literally I go right over to the sideline right after that. And then Colin's like, yeah, but go celebrate the team. And Colin Cowherd always says, I want my quarterback to be, like Russell Wilson. I don't want him to say much, no personality. Andrew Luck, Russell Wilson. That's the quarterback that I want.
I'm not gonna lie, that is beautiful though. There's something beautiful about it.
It's
rare now. Yeah. It's rare, but I don't even care if you scream and celebrate and do all that stuff. But all this extra stuff where he's grabbing his crotch at Hugh Jackson and walking to the sideline and talking smack to media personalities and all this stuff. I'm just over it. It's obviously if we were beating him, it wouldn't bother me as much.
See, that's my thing. I just don't think he's relevant enough to hate. He's not good enough.
I just can't. Well, it also stings me to my core because I'm an Ohio State fan, and he planted that flag.
See, I think that's part of the reason why I like him.
You don't like him.
I like that.
You don't like him. You were just talking with me earlier when the season was going about how much you don't like him.
I don't like how overrated he is and how much love that people give him right now because it's not earned.
Yeah.
But and I'm not saying I like him, but I did love that. That was awesome.
I'm sure you did love that.
That was awesome.
Whatever.
That was awesome. You know what else was awesome? That Purdue game this year. That was
all right.
Moving
on. Next one. Did you do your number 3?
I did. My number 3 was Antonio Brown.
Yeah. So number 2 for you.
Did you do your number 3?
Yeah, it was Baker.
Oh, that's right. We just got done talking about him. My number 2 is also a Steeler, and it's Big Ben Roethlisberger.
Really?
Yeah, and so Big Ben Roethlisberger is let's just put it out there. He's a sexual assaulter.
Rapist.
He is a rapist. He is that's where the conversation should end. But if we want to talk about football player. I think that he oftentimes puts his team in a really bad position. He's not reliable. The best ability is availability. He's always hurt.
Well, let's be real. He's not always hurt, but he's always got a boot on. And then they're like, oh, they're down 3 touchdowns. What is Ben gonna do? And he's pulling off his boot, and you're like, you were hurt, you sucker. He's just acting like you're hurt.
Yeah.
So you can come out and look like freaking Iron Man.
I don't love him. Talk about bad teammates. Bad teammate.
Yeah, he's throwing all his teammates under the bus all the time.
I mean, him and Todd Haley never got along because he would never play within the offense and the scheme. He just wanted to do whatever he wanted to do. And don't
also, he's just a big tub of goo at this point. He's a huge quarterback.
Yeah, he's a fat
I'm fat, but he's fat. You know what I mean? My gosh. And I just don't like how he throws his teammates under the bus. I don't care what internal problems you have and how you solve them within the locker room.
Right.
But if you're going to go... He goes on, radio stations and, trashes his teammates.
Right.
That's not what your quarterback should be doing.
Right, and now most recently he backpedaled. He's like, yeah, I probably could have been better. And whatever, bro. At least take a stance. I don't know. Now you're taking heat. Whatever. That's so irritating. Who's your number 2?
My number 2, also a Steeler, also a wide receiver, Juju Smith-Schuster. Not a fan.
I know you hate him.
Not a fan of him. Phenomenal football player. I think he's a great football player.
You think he takes over the number 1 spot?
He's gonna have to. I don't know if he's a number 1. Right. You know what I mean? He reminds me a lot like a Tyler Boyd, but a little bit bigger. But like we said earlier, he's completely adopted the Steelers' ideology, which is we're better than everybody and it doesn't matter to me. You know what I mean? He's just like, I'm going to buy in. I'm untouchable. He also, when he blindsided Vontaze and stood over him, and then he came out after that game and said he was sorry. And then immediately when he was unsuspended, one of his touchdown celebrations was him making fun of it.
Right.
Like, you're not sorry, dude.
Right.
And I don't expect you to be sorry, but don't come out and lie and say you're sorry if you're not. Like, just, you know what? If you're going to be a Steeler, be a Steeler. You know, be unapologetic about what you do. Play hard, I'm doing air quotes, hard-nosed football, whatever. For everybody else, that's personal fouls.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, it's
you know
cheap.
What? For you guys, it's hard-nosed football.
Cheap.
For us, it's personal fouls.
Right.
But yeah.
And suspension and fines.
Yeah, and you know what? He's just completely adopted it, and you know what? I don't expect him to do anything else, but that's my number 2.
Okay. My number 1 might surprise you a little bit.
Really?
Yeah. So
let me guess.
Okay.
Give me a hint.
He's a Bible thumper.
Tim Tebow?
No. I actually like Tim Tebow
Derek
a lot.
Carr?
Nope. My most hated NFL player is Ray Lewis.
Is he a Bible thumper?
Thumper.
What's that mean?
This is okay. I'll give you the full. So the thing that makes me mad about Ray Lewis is he's a murderer, and every time he comes on, he's just like, I just want to say, God let me get the sack that I just got today. God, let me get this win, and Jesus Christ is moving in my life. And I'm like, bro, you fucking murdered somebody. Like, Get out of here. You know what I mean? You're a hypocrite. You're a hypocrite. You're disgusting. You disgust me. You're one of the best linebackers of all time.
Yeah.
But guess what? Brian Urlacher's my man. So shut up. Not Ray Lewis.
You think Brian Urlacher's number 2?
I didn't say that. I just said he was my man.
Who do you think's number 2? Who do you think's number 1? Do you think he's number 1?
Okay, of linebackers I've watched in my lifetime, middle linebackers I've watched in my lifetime, I would say Brian Urlacher is probably number 2.
What about Luke Kuechly?
Luke Kuechly, let's let him have a career first.
Okay, fair enough.
I think he's really good. I think Luke Kuechly's the best linebacker right now in the NFL.
I would agree.
So, but I think, you know, Brian Urlacher's probably my number 2. And I think people forget how good he was, too.
Yeah, not only because he was physically gifted and all that, but he was smart. And he knew.
I mean, whenever, you know, we talk about when Peyton Manning specifically references you in his Hall of Fame retirement speech, in his retirement speech, like, that's when you know, like, you're legit. You know what I mean? So, but Ray Lewis, again, scumbag. Garbage. He's so fake. God, he's so fake. I hate him. Comes on talking about how he loves Jesus and this and that.
That's why we did this list, is because we got a lot of hatred built in.
Ray Lewis is disgusting. You disgust me.
I'm sure he's tossing around in bed right now.
I hate you.
Mine's pretty predictable. You want to take a guess?
No, I don't know who it is.
Take a guess.
That's someone on the Steelers.
Yep.
Troy Polamalu?
Oh, no. It's Ben Roethlisberger.
Oh, okay. Big Ben.
Can't stand him. And I think the big thing is with him is bases are loaded for the Reds, by the way, 1 out. My big thing for him is he's fake. He's a really fake guy. Mm-hmm. He's got that thing that the Cardinals do where after things happen, he pretends like he wasn't involved at all. Like any skirmish with any team, and he plays the victim every time. Like, their classes like this. What I heard is at one point in time, he walked up to Vontaze Burfict and he goes, "My wife and I pray for you."
Wow.
And it's like, what?
It's like, I'm surprised your wife's still with you.
Yeah.
You sick bastard.
And it's like, oh my gosh. It's like, you are so cringy, and it's so obvious that you're playing this fake game where you're a good guy and you're really not, and like, whatever.
Notable mention for me, by the way, within the division, but not a Steelers player, Marshall Yanda.
You don't like Yanda? I have no problem with
No, remember when he spit?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He spit on Burfict.
Yeah, he spit on Vontaze Burfict, dude.
Yeah, absolutely I totally forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah,
and
that's the most disrespectful
And then they went to the Ravens coach like, he would never do that. And they're like, oh, okay.
You know, like,
fair enough.
It's like the video shows him hawking a lug on him, but, you know. That's honorable mention right there.
Yeah. No, I agree. Well, that's pretty much it, guys.
Yeah,
that's been our 2 top 5 list. That actually took up way more time than I thought it was gonna.
Me too. But that was a good time. I think that's a good place to stop, though.
I thought it was a lot of fun. But if you guys haven't already, subscribe to us on YouTube. Subscribe to us on Spotify. You can listen to this podcast on both of those platforms. Also, if you want to give us a follow on Twitter. It's around_the_Nati. On Twitter. Also give us a follow. My handle is @GirlieHummin. That's GIRLIEHUMMIN. Don't ask what it means. Go ahead, Logan.
And you can follow me @chow_Logan. Also interact with the show. Give us your top 5. We'd love to hear what you guys think. Hear from you guys. Tell us where we went wrong, where we were right. And we'd love to hear what you guys think as well. So definitely interact with us as much as you can. Other than that, it's been a great show. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll see you around the Natty.